Hello, dear viewers. We're happy to welcome you to an international women networking, the Women of Impact, the live broadcast on AllatRA TV. The goal of today's conversation is a creative society, the model of the society where you, your loved one, and every single person on earth can live happy life. So today with us, we have wonderful ladies from around the world. And they will share their opinion about society. So please join us. And today we are honored and happy to introduce you to Reverend Matilda MATABWA, the Secretary General Malawi Assembly of God. Welcome, Matilda. Ruth MWENDA, Master degree in Social Policy and Development from University in London, United Kingdom, and lecturer at Social Work Department at St. John's Baptist University, Malawi. Welcome, Ruth. Dr. Ruby Bakshi, Vice President of Global Board for Women Empowerment and Global Goodwill Ambassador. Welcome, Ruby. Ghazala Salam, American Muslim political activist, social justice advocate, and philanthropist. Welcome, Ghazala. And Dr. Utako Tanigawa, founder and president, Georgia Musical Group, PhD and in Informational System Computer Science. So, welcome, Utako. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we truly believe that every woman has a huge potential. Every woman has inner power to create, inner power to unite, inner power to start something that brings good change to our society. And we were wondering how you envision creative society in which every one of us would like to live in. Dear Utako, maybe we can start from you.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. I truly believe women's power, and women is usually they're much more multitasking people. They have a family, raising children, or housework, and full-time work. They're carrying out all the balls and juggling all the time and doing a very good job, but it's not very much recognized. And even if they are very good and at school, but when they had jobs, the opportunity is really limited. So we really need to promote women's power to the society. That will be a wonderful thing to happen to the society. And that will just not women only, wonderful for men too. So I believe it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Utako. Ruth,
yes,
go ahead, Matilda.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you for having me once again. I also think, just to add on what Utako has said, that the world must start appreciating the role of women or a girl child in everything, doing things together, participating in decision making, participating in national development agendas, participating in all activities without leaving out a woman or a girl child. So I believe that the world at large, the institutions, political leaders, chiefs in our villages, in our societies, educationists, they should start appreciating what a woman or a girl child can do. Without that, I believe that we will continue to sing this song about women power, but without achieving anything. So we need to understand what a woman can do and the power that God has invested in a woman as well. In so doing, we are going to really have a wonderful, wonderful society. Thank you, Marina.
Thank you, Matilda. Ghazal, would you please share your vision of creative society?
Thank you, Marina. Thank you for inviting me to this panel. Yeah, I think as Utaka and Matilda have said, it's really important. First, I think women need to respect each other. They have to be good role models in society for younger women and girls. And that starts with respecting, and giving equal opportunity to your own children, boys and girls, both. Because for too long, I think the society has overlooked that, and too many cultural nuances, get in the way of girls completely realizing their full potential, because they're looked at as like second-class citizens, and we have to stop doing that. And as much as possible, we need to start advocating for that, because we're equal. We were created equal, so we need to fight for those rights that God has given us as human beings, that man is trying to take away from us in general. So I think education is a huge component of that, because it really gives a lot of inspiration to women, right? They thrive. You have to give the same kind of opportunity that you give to boys, you have to give to girls. And in today's society, we see that even in political leadership, where we see such little women, women's advocacy or women's roles in leadership positions. And, I live in a country like America, which speaks a lot about human rights and equal rights and all of that. But when it really comes down to it, this country has still not been able to elect a female as its president, right? So that says a lot about a society where we truly are in our hearts, and that really has to change.
I agree with you that mutual understanding and respect to each other, these are the foundation for, it should be a foundation of the society. And also it starts with education.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Then that would be my next maybe turn for Ruby, because I know that she's also teaching. So Ruby, how do you envision creative society?
Thank you very much, Antonia and Marina, for giving me this platform to share my voice. I feel for any creative society to develop, it is important. Education is the backbone. It is very important to analyze the importance of educating. And when I say educating, is not just by degrees or diplomas, educating the mindset of the people. We need to envision that only when people are well educated, they know the do's and don'ts, the rights and wrongs, they can lead a good life. They will not be hurting other people. They will be open. They will be happy to help each other. They'll be open to criticism, because when you are saying something good, everyone likes it. Everyone appreciates it. It's only when you are telling something, like criticizing for something or telling something which is not good, people don't like it so much, and they react in a very bad manner. So I think it is important that people need to be educated about what is right and what is not the right way of doing things, like the right conduct. And to have a creative society, I think people need to develop their brains more. We need to broaden the horizon and see a little further, not have a very limited approach. We need to make it a little bit bigger and try to think, what is a bigger picture? How can we make it happen? And I think as a woman, I feel it's the responsibility of a mother is more, or as a woman is more, because we are the one who are taking care of our children, and children are the future. So if you are able to give these knowledge or vision or values to them when they're small, I think it makes a lot of difference, because they see the world how you show them. They see, I'm not saying that you have to train them, but educate them in a way that they are open to understand what is coming up. So as a mother, as Ghazala already said, and Utako mentioned, that it is the responsibility or the more work of a woman to shoulder the things properly. And as an educationist, I have always been telling my students that it is very important to see, by having a clear approach, by having a clarity in what you believe, you'll be able to lead better. Because if you believe in yourself, then other people better. Thank you.
I think it's education absolutely very, very important. And education doesn't mean in school only, education at home. And it's not only mother and father. And in many countries, still the boys and girls, they're raised differently. And a lot of parents limit the things that girls can do. And for boys, expand more. And they, they say, well, they can be a politician or, the astronaut, but no, the girls are not. And still many countries, it's the best things for the girls is become a good wife and mother. And that's important, but that's not only things that we can do. It's much, much more. So education at home to change the mindset for the girls is very, very independent, very important. So their self-esteem should be very strong. And many girls, can do not speak up. And that's really bad thing. So they should have their own opinion. They should be raised independently. And so those kind of things is important and a part of the education, I think.
Since you talk about the empowerment, one of our wonderful women here, Ruth, she is empowering women in Malawi. Ruth, maybe you would also share, how do you envision creative society where people live in peace and where they're happy? Would you share your vision?
Yes, for me, I envision a society whereby women have a voice. Women should be empowered to speak out. Women should be able to speak their minds. As I said earlier, that in Malawi, our culture, normally it's a silent culture. Women are raised believing that they should be silent. Men should make the decisions. Men should speak. And then women should listen and do what the men are saying. But I envision a society where women are empowered. Women should be able to make their own decisions. So in decision-making positions, women should have a place where they will be able to participate. They should be able to say what women need. They shouldn't just be listening. So women should be empowered to speak out. Women should be empowered to hold leadership positions. So I envision a society where women should be able to actively participate, not just being idle and watching men taking the active role. Thank you.
Rose. I think, guys, from this, I see the one thing that we should be equal. Like, doesn't matter what gender do you have, you male or female, it's still you're equal. You have like same opportunities, same abilities. Nothing can stop you to achieve your goals and to open all your potential. And that's right. And I want to return to Ruby also, like that parents have to be great examples for their kids. Of course, we can teach them wherever we want. If they don't see great examples in front of their eyes, they could never be they can be a good people, but like, it's not going to be a magic that they going to be nice and just like very good, like how to say, very good children, if they always see the bad examples in front of them. It's harder to open your best qualities.
So I wanted to ask Ruth, how have you been able to do this empowerment work in your region? Like, what are some of the things that you have been doing that helps to empower girls?
I'm afraid Ruth had a problem with the internet connection.
Oh, okay.
Because her picture is frozen.
I think, Ghazala, coming from India, both of us would also agree that few years ago, It was always like this, like girls had to take a particular profession, just certain professions were open to the girls. And if they wanted to go for further studies, and they had a brother as well, so it was restricted more for the female child, because she is a girl. There were restrictions, there were things like, you're a girl, you're going to go in a different house, so she rights as her own brother. So even in the family, sometimes, being born and brought up in India, I could see that there were these kind of discriminations in the same family, same blood, same, it's right there. I think I was fortunate that in my family we were two sisters. I have a younger sister, so we were two sisters, and our parents never differentiated. There were things when people were like, why do you want to educate them so much? Why are you giving them so much education? Anyways, they're going to get married. Think about the dowry, because it still exists, even though we live in a millennium, or I would say we live in a technological era, but still it exists, unfortunately, that people see the difference in the own family. And that's why it's very important, if you are from a protective family where parents are not differentiating, they are the ones who are leading you, they are the ones who are channelizing in the right way. It makes a lot of difference. You are able to have more confident children, the vision is more clear, and also the kids are more open, they don't hesitate. And that's why parents, both men, I said that women more, because children are with the mother all the time. Father is going to the office, father is there with other things, it's the mother who's constantly with the children for most of the things. So in general, both parents have the equal responsibility of taking care of these things, because if the kid is well educated, as well as he or she is confident, then the vision will be more clear and they can be able to lead a good life, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it goes back to creating a nurturing society, because the society we live in has so much impact on how we grow up as individuals, right? So take, for example, India, countries like India, where it's, patriarchal for sure, and men are the leaders, and with limited resources within families, economic, disparities, whatever resources they have, they would rather, put that towards a boy's future versus a girl's future, and not really think that she can accomplish anything, and limit her right there by that kind of thinking. So I think it has to go back to changing the way the culture, people in a society think about equity, about gender justice and rights for all, and that's why today, like, we see so much, especially now with COVID-19, we're seeing the racial disparities, how this pandemic is impacting not just in our country here in the US, but around the world. We see how many people, with just like a month or 2 months of shutdown, have no food to eat or no rent to pay, and their resources are so limited. And so in those situations, if you think about that for a minute, imagine that if you miss a paycheck, or if you don't have, that's the first thing, right? Like in the hierarchy of what you're trying to do is, if you don't have that basic to provide for yourself, then how are you even going to get beyond that to think about, okay, how am I going to create a better society? I'm not thinking about society right now. I'm thinking of, okay, how am I going to provide for myself or my children or for my family? So that means however we set up our governments, our economic systems, they have to be just and equitable for all. So making sure that we're paying everybody, equally, correctly, and we're not discriminating because they're a laborer, or they come from this class of worker, or this or that or the other. They're really truly paying them for the work that they're doing, and making sure that it's a living wage, no matter where they're living, that they're able to afford, right? And live with dignity. I feel like right now people, are feeling like they have no dignity, because, in just a matter of month or two, we're seeing everything crumbling around us. And it just breaks my heart to see that our world is, we're worlds apart, yet we're so close, and everything that we're experiencing is so similar. We're all in this together. It truly is. Like, it makes you think about what has happened to our society and where is our world going. If we continue this way, what's going to happen for the future if there's a next pandemic? Imagine just even if this gets worse, where is that going to leave our society and what's going to happen?
Yes, I agree with you. And do you know that like daily we have a live broadcast, like 6 handshakes and the live conversation with people from around the world. And one of the speakers told us, like when we ask how you envision creative society, and he said, do you know like what people feel right now? They feel fear. And do you know why? Because our society is not built to protect each of us. And we all know if something bad happens to us, there will be nobody like behind us who can help us. And in a creative society, we will be able to create such a protective base, social base for every single human on earth, that he or she will like don't have to be able to think and like sit down and think every single day like what he or she will bring to the table. No, but he or she will be able to think how she will educate her children for the better, what best qualities she can raise in her children, and like uncover her own potential, like be able to strive to her goals, so what she wants to do, and not to do something to just to provide a piece of bread for the day.
I think we really need to change the way of thinking inside family too. Still, it's a man too. It's husband is one to make more money, or they have the responsibility in the house. Many people still think that way, and for me myself, I never had that, and we are very equal. And my husband does much more work in the house, and so it's very different. But I have to say, even if in Japan, and maybe it's changing, but many people think husband one is the one have to make more money, and wife is the one to do most of the housework. And we need to change that. It doesn't have to be that way. Maybe some houses are like that and it works good. Some houses are the opposite and that works good. That's fine too. But one of my friends, Japanese friends, said, women working is, my husband don't have to let me work, and it's almost like women's working is because the husband do not have enough money to support family. And that's really the way of thinking. Is some people still think that way, and it's so important for women to have independence, financially and mentally, and then they just the inside house has to be equal. And so again, I think it's a way of thinking needs to be changed in both men and women.
So practically in the whole society, right?
Thank you so much. And today we have also one task for our viewers. So please, we are very curious to hear your opinion on how you envision creative and constructive society. So please go to the description of this video or to the first comment and find this question. And we would love to hear your answers by the end of this program. As well, if you would like to ask the question in person and you would like to join and jump in into our broadcast right now, please let us know in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, and we will invite you. So our next question is, so right now, as you can see, so we have women from different continents, from Africa, from Asia, from North America, from Europe. So how we, women of different ages, different races, different religion, different cultures, different tradition. So right now we have one common goal. We would like to live in a good society. We would like to raise our children in a safe society. We would like to have freedom of choosing profession, freedom of doing what we want, and we would love to have a security. So we don't want to go on the street and being afraid of something bad happening to us. So what we women can do in order to make this society is a reality now. So maybe any ideas how we can unite, how we can bring different, like more people, more women, maybe men too. I don't know. So to this global discussion.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Marina.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I wanted to start by saying that as women, we must be role models to our next generation. Because if we do not model the society that we want, then we don't have to expect a good society, a creative society. So I believe we lack that model part for our kids to emulate. And also, like us in our age, we needed to have some female models who came before us. For example, we thank God for Utako. I should take her as my model. You know, she's older than me, so I think she's a good model. But we must do more. We can do more than what we are doing right now to have
Yeah.
a very good society in the future. If we speak a different language and then we model a different character, we will not achieve this thing. I believe modeling is one of the key factors to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. You said I'm older than you. Yes, I'm older than you. I'm 65, and that I have 2 daughters. And very important things to raise them is confidence, self-esteem, and speak up. That's very important, and financial independence is very important. And I said, you know, I wanted them to find a very good partners for life, but its marriage is not only one goal for them. And they have more goals, and I don't want to limit their possibilities. And as you, Matilda, said, we need to be a role model. And my age, as I said in Japan, a lot of things is that it said women has to be followed, husband or parents and those. And we follow each other. It's not that, you know, I'm playing you, my husband, and no, we follow each other. We always have to think win-win situation. It's not the which one is stronger and which one is weaker. But as I said, the coronavirus, this environment right now, it's a weaker people had more damages. And like inside a family, more domestic violence, and it goes to the children and wives many times because of physically weaker. But we have to change that too. So yeah, definitely but we need to unite each other to help each other to get better.
And if we will think about domestic violence and the violence in general, so my opinion on this topic that it's not only the problem between men and women, it's the problem about our, let's call it like informational field, because right now, like we have the violence from all different sources, from TV, even from the cartoon, from the advertisement. So we use fear as a manipulative tool. And if we are all together will agree that like we don't want to have violence in our society at all, we don't want to have it on the TV screens, we will ban it and we will show only positive examples, the good role models, then we will eliminate that problem at all. So we need to show examples that like really teach us how to be human, and not examples that teach us how to be animal, very angry one. So we don't want that. But again, we need to agree all together on that. If we will do this change in one country, it will not bring change what we want to see. So we need to like really agree on that globally as a one like human family.
Yeah. And I think, you know, that also brings you, when you're talking about domestic violence and violence in general, I think you have to create spaces where people feel safe talking about it. We have to remove, stigma from and shaming of women, of children, of anybody when they're experiencing this type of trauma, this violence and oppression against themselves. They should be able to speak out, right? And this again goes back to creating a nurturing society. Like if we do that, we're compassionate, you know, we accept each other's diversity and accept each other's as equals in humanity, regardless of a race, color, religion, or our, financial situations or our economic status. I think that's where you really start to create a society that is more nurturing, caring, and thinks about, okay, equity for all. Like, if it's for me, I want the same for everybody else. Usually today you see the top 1% or the richer only getting rich because they're only thinking about themselves. How can I line my pockets? Never mind who's getting elected, how stupid that person may be, and how horrible their background is. But hey, you know what? My pocketbook is going to be good, so I'm going to go ahead and vote for that person, or it's okay to have that person. It is so wrong that we don't think of the whole. How does this have an impact on the whole of society when you have leaders that are, that are bullying you and just not even qualified to be in that place, first of all. And even if they could, the characteristics of that person is just dehumanizing everybody else, right? And when you look at that on a global scale, of people like that, that just, I think it empowers us women to say, women are the people who can say, okay, enough of this. We need to come together and say, we're nurturing as human beings anyway, right? We nurture our families, we give birth to children, we keep the families together, everything. It's not just about your immediate children or whatever. You have extended families, you try to balance all of that. And that, I think that same kind of love and capacity has to come to the greater society. And that's why we need to have more women in leadership roles, so that there's more compassion and more unity, and the way we think of each other as human beings, and not as race or based on economic situations and the color of our skin or ethnicity, giving importance to that, rather giving importance to the race of humanity.
Okay,
Yeah,
for me, I think.
Go ahead, Ruth.
Yes, go. Okay, I was saying that for me, I believe that for us to have this creative society, we need to be deliberate in promoting this society that we want. So we have to do it deliberately. We have to talk about it with our children. For example, I have 2 daughters. I have to talk about women empowerment. I have to discuss with them about having their own voice. So I have to be deliberate. If I meet women or men as well, I have to be, that should be me talking about a society that we want, a society that women can have a place, that women are capable of talking about it again and again, living it, as Matilda said, modeling it. So it has to be in us. I have to be passionate about it, so that people should be able to see it. At the same time, people should be able to witness that I'm living it. And for those that are around me, they should be infused with women having a voice, women being able to take leadership positions. So I think that we have to be deliberate in promoting a society that has women with a voice.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's the point. So if we have an idea, we need to make this idea popular. So we need to like let every single person on earth know that there is such an opportunity to like really share what you envision, how you envision society. So, and if we will like really all get together as a humanity and share our ideas, it's like 100% sure we will be able to find the way how we can implement it. So we have like a lot of like very well educated person, like people who really can develop the very good programs that will restructure our economy, our healthcare, our education, and like make like really it's working all of it around the world. So in every single part of earth, we will have equal good quality, like affordable healthcare, good education, everything that we need as a human. Because how like we're born here, born to have joy, born to be happy. So we're not born to struggle and fight with each other, right? For resources, for example, we have plenty of that. We just need to like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, and since the women are the ones who have compassion to each person, because there is such a notion that there is no like alien children, right? So that there is, you know, every child on earth is like your own. So that's why I see that this compassion towards every single person is this quality of women that we need to spread, and that's why this is unique moment that we think not only of our nearest community on, you know, in the regions where we live in now, but we think globally, okay, how we can make a world better place for everyone. And I wish that such conversations and exchange would go viral and globally as a trend, really as a new trend, because this is what inspires us, what inspires other women across the globe, and this is constructive and creative. So what if not the power of love would change this world and to be a better place? So and I see that we can use these modern technologies like social networks, so social yes, networks, internet, just to spread this idea, since we have now you know, us from each continent, then this is where it starts. This is how I see it.
And right now we have one question from our viewers. So we will ask technical support to add this person to our conversation.
Hello.
Hello, Olga. Where are you from?
Hello, everyone. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine. And I have a question. I'm so pleased to meet you all. It's very nice to find out about active women and that there is something we can discuss and do for our society. And I have a question. This topic, creative society, is very close to me too. And I would like to find out what can we do for as many people, so lots of people can find out about this idea of a creative society. How can we spread the information so as many people find out about it?
I think you have to start with your own community, right? Just find 10 people that you know, 10 women that you're close with, and start having a conversation. Build those relationships, you know, one-on-one conversations on what it is that you all want, and try to figure out how can we come together on maybe top 3 goals or 1 goal, even start off with, to improve you know, where we live in our own society or in our own communities. What can we do? And work towards that goal, and you know, and empower each other by not you know, the way is not to tell them what to do, but to include them in the conversation. Be inclusive and allow everybody that space to provide their feedback and their thought, and through that collaborative you will be able to come up with excellent, amazing ideas. You'll be amazed, you know, at what you can do, and that can grow, and they can talk to more people, and then they can talk to more people. So you're kind of creating the snowflake effect of women leaders in your communities, and that can expand, just like what we're doing here on this platform where Marina has invited all of us from different parts of the world. I think this can really grow and continue this conversation on a regular basis, and invite more diverse people from across the country to talk about, you know, and then maybe even begin to identify some of the things that we can actually take on and say, okay, how are we going to find resolutions for this, right? And so I think it begins with those very small conversations within your own community, and starting from there.
Very rightly said, Ghazala. I think empowered women empower women. I think win. If you are empowered, you have the right skills, you have the intellect, then it's your time to give back to the society. Because what happens is people are becoming more selfish. You know, when you are up there, you have reached your pinnacle, you think I'm the best, and you are up there. But then you are not helping, you're not creating anything. And I think as women, we are the generators, we are giving birth, we are the ones who are creating a new life. So we have to find our own tribe and keep on empowering other women. So if you have had enough, you're good at something, share it, you know, share it in your tribe. That's what exactly I did in my community. When I came here, I faced a problem of speaking French. I did not know a word of French. So I was struggling in Switzerland because I didn't understand the language. So first was the cultural shock coming from India, and second was the language. So I felt totally lost. So when it has been like 5 months here, I thought like, I need to do something. I need to create something so that other women don't face the problems that I faced in the beginning. So now I have a, you know, community of women. We are all from different countries, and some don't even speak French. They don't understand the language, but we speak with each other with the language of love, sign language, and we're helping each other, you know, for small things, like really very, very basic things of surviving. You know, that's the most important thing. We as women need to go ahead with a lot of things. And if you have that chain, that female wave of change, it makes a lot of difference. You know, you have to be like a wave that you're supporting everyone, getting everyone together for the basic things. And when these basic things are sorted, you know, you can lead, you can always move on to a better society.
Great. You just practically turned your fear into opportunity, not only for yourself, but also for others. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's time. I always say this to people: if you see there is an issue or there's a problem, stop complaining. Try to think about, you know, see that as an opportunity to come up with a solution. Take the lead. Don't wait for others to tell you it's okay for you to take the lead, because you know what, you have that right. It's your society, you live there, that impacts your life. So take the lead, you know, be bold. You can do it. There's nothing, you know, if you really set your mind to it and your intentions are good, I always think that yes, there's nothing that you cannot do, and that you're empowering by you taking on that leadership role. You're empowering other people to say, yes, I can do it too, you know. But if we're all thinking, okay, this is a problem, I don't know what to do, and we're just complaining and nobody really wants to do anything about it, it's not going to get resolved. And I feel like we should not wait, you know, don't wait for someone to invite you to resolve or solve the situation or take the leadership role. You have to just be empowered to say, yes, I can, and take the lead and do it.
I agree with you, both of you, totally. I think we should start small, one-on-one or a small group, but think macro, think very big, and what's your goal is. I thought that the Me Too movement is very good, because before that was like a shame things, like embarrassing things. I cannot talk about it, and the women was accused because you are in the wrong place when you were not careful. It's not, and it's Me Too is very clear and one word, and it's spread to the world. And so for this group, we need some focus areas, because we have probably 10,000 million things we want to get better. but we cannot resolve everything at a time. So just we can have several focus areas, and each group can expand. And I think that's the way we can really influence the society.
Thank you very much. So the woman that unites, we can do a lot on our own, but together we can do much more, right?
Yes.
Not to try to handle everything on your own, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olga, for your questions. And I know that we have one more question. So technical support, please add this participant to our conversation. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for the broadcast, because I was watching it with great pleasure, because it's so much inspiring, really inspiring. And then you see, just an example, then you see people from different parts of the world. It's okay that so far it is one woman from each country, but you really start to believe that if these questions are so much important for all of us, we can really gather together, we can unite, and we can start to speak up. And I have one question for all of you. As you discussed today that women have huge potential in changing our society, but still we live in the conditions there many women feel fear, and they feel that they don't have enough self-confidence to start to speak. What can we do all together to overcome these points, to gather together and to start speak up without having this fear? How we can support each other and those who have these thoughts and these feelings inside them, but they're still afraid to start to speak. Thank you.
So this question, by the way, came from Dubai.
I think, you know, if women are experiencing that currently, and I can understand, you know, it in this moment that we're living in, it's so difficult and stressful for everybody. I think it's good to find a mentor, someone that you look up to, you know, and, you know, I don't know, perhaps this platform can think about mentorship as well, you know, for women, for young women, or women who want to take on leadership roles in their own communities and maybe hesitant because of fear of society, or just don't feel like they can do it, or they feel like they don't have the support. It's great to find a mentor, someone who you really look up to, you know, and if you know them, reach out to them and just start talking to them, see who that person might be for you, and talk to them. And if that's not possible, like we were just saying before, find a small group of women, 1 or 2 people, even if you don't have 10, start talking to each other and see how you can have each other's back. How can I support you, and how can you support me? Talk about the things that you're afraid of, and how you can change that for yourself, right? And I think through those conversations, you will be able to find that and that courage that you need, because you have another person, you know, that's listening to you, or you feel like there's someone there that has your back. And that's how you really build from that small, you know, small community or small connections. You build relationships, and it's not just limited to women. I think it's good to bring men into the conversation as well, because they're a huge part of the society. And, you know, try to find those men who, you know, who will support you in those in your initiatives, and to help you accomplish your goals. I think you have to have those conversations. Don't be afraid to speak out. I think that's where it starts, because we have to speak out. If we don't say anything, people are not going to know, you know, that what it is that you want, and you have to be vocal about it.
You just brought up very, very good point. I've been doing the mentoring work the last 20 years. I'm a really minority. You know, I'm an Asian, and I work in an American company, and many times I'm the only one from Japan, and I'm a woman, and I was old already, and so it's all kinds of things. I was really minority of minority, but I had a 70 plus people I was mentoring for the last 20 years, and many of them is minority women too. And I asked what their goal is, because each person has a different goals. And some of them just want to really pursue their careers in the company. Some of them are different goals. So it doesn't mean it's a promotion is only one goals, but the main things that I really did was encouragement and open opportunities. So it's a no limitation. They can be, you know, they're all different roles they can pursue. So I helped them to resume and the interview skills and talking skills. And plus we met every month to do what is the next goal. And so really this is a building blocks. It's step by step. But 40% of the people I mentored, they're promoted or reach their goals in 2 years. So that was a joy for me. I really appreciate they gave me this opportunity. It's not the one way, it's the two ways. I was learning a lot from them too. But like you said, it's mentoring and finding somebody and talking with somebody is very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, and here being in Dubai, also in the United Arab Emirates, I really like the initiative, and I see that we have a lot of opportunities to connect with women and people from different communities also, and to make this project also available and popular among people. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to add that on AllatRA platform, there is a project, No to Violence in the Family and in the Society, where people across the globe speak up about this topic, but they are just directed towards solutions and constructive examples of how people overcome this fear and these boundaries. So I would like just to encourage every person to contact us, also to join this conversation, this platform, because it's open, and I feel that every person just can be a mentor for another one. It's just really a lot of opportunity for everyone.
I also wanted to add that the other thing is to believe in yourself. Most of the times we don't do things because we're afraid of failing. So we shouldn't be afraid of failing, but we should be able to take a step and do it, to believe that I can do it. As a woman, I'm capable, I can achieve. I can be able to achieve something. If I fail one time, it doesn't mean that I will fail again, but to believe in myself that I'm capable to achieve something as a woman. Because, for example, in my society, you believe, women are made to believe that they should just watch, as I said earlier. So women should be able to believe in themselves. Most of the times women are afraid to do something because if I fail, maybe people will laugh at me, people will say this. In the end, women just sit back and watch. So women should be able to stand up and believe in themselves and take the active role.
Yeah, I also wanted to add on all the suggestions and ideas, brilliant ideas, that we can't win this if we are going alone. We have to engage men. And we have to involve men who have the commanding power in the society. We have to engage men who have the gravitas to doing things. We have to engage men who also have a passion to empower women. I also want to propose to Antonia and Marina that maybe next time we can also have men on this forum speaking to women empowerment, because it's not just about us women. We can't do it. Otherwise, somehow, somewhere, we could be failing because we're just going into this battle all alone without engaging our men. So there are men out there who have a passion to see a woman up there, to see a woman leading them, to see a woman having the commanding power, you know. But if we leave them out, they'll stand in the stand and they'll just be watching us. And then in the end, we fail. We'll be saying, okay, a woman cannot do it, but let's do this all together. We are in this together. Yeah.
Exactly, Matilda, exactly. I fully agree with you. So we need almost 8 billions of people. We want let all people really well think about the way of our society should work. No, that's true. It doesn't matter what gender you are. So it's true. That's our planet. That's our world, and we're on one ship. Let's call it like that. So we really need to get together, all people. So maybe Ghazal and Ruby, you would like to add something to Alina's question?
Yeah, I'd just like to add on, taking from what Matilda said. It's true that, we need to include men because as a woman, we already know what we are looking for. We are already aware of our do's and don'ts, likes and dislikes. But if we take from them as well, you will be able to see the bigger picture. And for a bigger picture, it's always better to hear both the sexes. Because if we are just talking about women empowerment, women rights, we are doing exactly what was being done to us many, many years ago. So it's been last 2 years that we are talking more about women empowerment. It was not talked about so much, but in last 2 years, if you see, we have so many groups, we have so many things that are coming up, are popping up from everywhere globally. People are talking about. And I think it's best when, there are a lot of sisterhood groups as well, as we said, as Mefera said, that sometimes we hesitate. We are not sure about ourselves. We are always hesitant, like, can I do it? We are hesitant because we fear if we fail, what will people say? Because we live in societies where sometimes we are judged by failure and success. If you are living in a good apartment, if you're wearing nice clothes, you're wearing brands, you're suddenly up there. But if you are someone, who's very simple, very, down to earth, he or she is looked down upon. So I think we have to come, we have to move on. We have to come over these materialistic things and help people more in terms of creating these sisterhood societies and telling them what is most important, showing them what is most important. And this is, I think, back to my education. Education is the backbone which can make them much stronger, because a vision gets bigger. And they are able to understand it in a much easier manner and much holistic approach. I think education, it all comes back to the same, that if you are educated, if you are well educated, you will understand the context very well, and you will be able to lead the situation, the scenario of life in much stronger way.
Yeah, that means that there will be a generation of people who are free already inside, and they don't need to change their mentality, and they are free to create, and they are free to live and to build the creative society around.
Exactly, because if you are educated, you know the difference between mentally as well as emotionally aware of what is going around you. So when you are mentally and emotionally aware, you'll be able to take better decisions, because things go wrong when you make one wrong decision and then you suffer. You think, I messed it up. But now the time has gone. You can't be messing up. You need to think before you take any action. And it rests very well. If you are educated, you understand it very well, you will be able to take a better decision, which can have a good effect for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alina, for such a thought-provoking question that we all gave our ideas, and we came up with such wonderful ideas and suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know that we have last question from our viewers. So, but we are not able to invite this person to ask the question, so we can show his or her question and we can read it. So it's small, but I will read it for you. It will be great if we can all meet again in a live broadcast in 2 weeks and share with our viewers the steps each person took in order to move closer to building a creative society. This will be a great example of the quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So basically, it's not a question, it's an invitation.
A little challenge.
Exactly. So maybe we definitely can discuss what steps we can all take and meet again in 2 weeks, invite another participants to this conversation, and continue to create model of society that we all would like to live in.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's a very good time for that. And dear viewers and dear guests, if you would like to learn more about Project Creative Society, please go to our website, AllatRAunites.com, click join, and leave your comment, leave your vision of Creative Society. And also, if you would like to be part of this broadcast, like you heard, in 2 weeks or maybe even sooner, please also contact us via email, info@allatra.tv, where the subject Women of Impact, Creative Society. And we will be happy to hear from you, your feedback, your ideas, or maybe the idea of who else we can invite to this kind of programs. Because we need to start communicate and start to work together, start this conversation. It's essential conversation for us as a humanity. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. It's very inspirational.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us and giving us this platform where we heard everyone and we heard such wonderful ideas. And now we have again a thought to think over for what to say and what to discuss in coming 2 weeks. That's wonderful. Highly appreciated.
I like this idea too. So, dear guests, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Next time.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.